So, as you know, diabetes runs in my family, and I'm very likely to get it
Yes.
because both sets of grandparents have it, and both my parents have it. And only having one parent with type 2 diabetes, um, like, you have a 40% chance.
Yeah.
So mine is,
It's not an if, it's a win.
yeah. And so you've seen both my parents. They're like some risk things that could happen is they're both over 40.
Yes.
They're both obese.
Down at their job, right? They don't get a whole lot of exercise.
Yeah. They both sit and do work on the computer.
Typey work.
Typey work, yeah. And so I just wanted to let you know what is gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
And so
talk me through, how does it work?
So with type 2, there are one of three things that could happen. So your pancreas normally makes insulin, which allows the glucose inside of your cell, and that is how you get your energy and all of that. So the insulin is kind of like a key. And so what happens is when you have type 2, you either don't produce that key anymore, so the blood, like the glucose in your blood just sits in there, and that is what causes your high blood sugar. Or another thing that could happen is you don't produce enough insulin. So some are getting it through, but not enough to where you have energy.
Okay.
And then another thing that could happen is there could be fatty deposits on the site where the insulin goes to.
Where it binds.
Yeah. And it won't allow the glucose in. So that's called insulin resistance when that happens. And then some signs to be aware of, when you are observing me or anything like that, is I'll be more tired because I'm not getting the glucose into my blood cells, or I'll be peeing a lot, and because of that I'll be drinking more.
Fluid in, fluid out.
Yeah. It's just that's just trying to flush out all of the glucose that I have in my blood. And then another thing that could happen is I'll get more blurred vision than I already have.
Oh no! You can barely see as it is, darling.
And so then that is because the thick blood won't make it into my eyes, or little arteries in my eyes. And then some other thing that could happen, I'll get more vaginal infections, which is not fun. It's awful.
I would know.
Yeah, you definitely would know. And then another thing that would happen is that I'll start getting a little bit of tingling in my fingers, and I'll start just because the nerve endings in my fingers, they're not getting enough blood because your blood is just so thick.
Viscous.
It's very viscous. And another thing that can happen is my cuts or anything that I have will not heal correctly, or it won't
They won't scab up?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that leads to infections and stuff like that, because
all sorts of complications.
The bacteria is feeding on the glucose in my blood.
Okay, so you're just more infection prone in all of the various areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then some other things that if it gets to the point where we don't catch it on time, I'll probably have some blindness in my eyes, just because that blood isn't getting in there, and it affects
the cells are dying.
Yeah, it affects the optic nerve. Another thing is a lot of people who are older and have diabetes and kind of leave it untreated, they get sores on their feet.
Yeah.
And because they don't feel it, they just step on something and they just have something in their foot and they don't realize it. And then another thing, the blood is just so viscous that your heart
it's working overtime.
It's working overtime, and it's not getting the nutrients it needs to pump. And so it's just a long road.
Does that lead to heart failure, heart attacks?
Heart disease, all of that fun stuff.
Not fun.
Not fun, but yeah. And then some things that can help with it are checking my blood glucose,
just being aware of it.
Yeah, being aware of it, making sure it's not too high, not too low.
Diet helps with that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Dieting correctly is always a good option. And then some medications, my mom's on metformin, That kind of like helps regulate the glucose in there.
Getting
and then-
active be helpful as well, because you mentioned that
Definitely.
your parents have the sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, so being active is really important for me as I get older. And then another thing is like a lot of treatments involve like actually injecting insulin, like
Anthony?
Anthony.
Yes, because he has type 1.
Yes, even though like type 1 completely like,
Very different.
yeah, different, but type 2 you still will inject if you need to, just because sometimes your pancreas just stops working. Super fun. Thank you for talking with me about this.
Of course. Is there anything that I can do to help you manage this kind of thing in the future?
Just like make sure that I'm eating foods that are good for me and diabetics, and then like being aware of like the signs,
Okay.
so that you can watch for it as well.
Will do.